Hey, welcome back to my channel. If y'all have never been here before ever, my name is Charlotte, or Char. I usually go by Char on my accounts and everything that I have here. I'm a hairdresser and a makeup artist. I enjoy just caking my face every day, and this channel is pretty much just for the enjoyment of like just making videos. And a lot of people ask me about my makeup all the time, so I figured that I'd just go ahead and start like posting them. A lot of times if y'all request something, I will do it. I'll make like a certain kind of eye, like I'll do like a bridal look or a bridesmaid look, or you know, I do like different colors that inspire, hopefully. And just my favorite part about beauty YouTubers are the tutorials that they do, like the makeup tutorials. So I just kind of wanted to be like one of those kind of channels. I may do a video every now and then with like a challenge, or like bringing on my best friend or something fun like that. But honestly, most of the time I'm just going to be doing makeup tutorials because that's what I enjoy to watch. Or enjoy watching. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get in the makeup. If y'all like this dress, it's from Forever 21. It's like a halter maxi dress thing. It's got a really cool cutout detail on the back. And but anyway, without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and jump in and get started. First, I'm going to be using my Maracuja oil by Tarte. I haven't used an oil to prep my face in a really long time, and I'm kind of in a rut to what to do about my face. I adore the Drunk Elephant C Firma, whatever it's called. It's some sort of like prepping something. And what I wanted to do with that was, I like to prep my face with that in the morning. I think it really helps. But I can only buy a certain amount of Drunk Elephant things at a time because your girl cannot afford like dropping like $300 on some skincare right now. So I'm just gonna try to prep my face with this oil if it would ever come out. I think my dropper is broken because I have a fair amount of oil still left in this little bottle. There we go. Just gonna rub this on our face, and I'm gonna let this soak in while we do the eyes. To prep my eyelids, I'm using this little bitty dinky It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Illumination. Oh dang, this is waterproof concealer. Okay, so this must make our eyeshadow stay on for a really long time. So I'll just let that set there while we do the eyes. And then I set down my eyeshadow with a nude shade so that everything will blend out like really nicely on top. And I'm taking my Peaches and Cream shade from this palette because it's like a really good match for my skin color already. Okay, and to start off the crease, I have a look in mind. Like I have like a little thing I want to do, which is kind of why I wore black and white today, because I didn't want it to clash with whatever eye look we were gonna do. So I pick up a fluffy brush, and I'm going with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This palette is just so good, and I'm pick up my regular 2 crease shades, and then I'm gonna start buffing this into the crease once we're done. Just kind of do like a light wash of these 2 shades. I'm going in with that yellow shade. I'm just gonna start buffing this up into the crease. Sorry, the lighting over in this corner is so dark, but if I move over just slightly, then it's like super streaky with like all the lines from my blinds. So I use natural light because I do not have a ring light. Now I'm going in with a lot of yellow shades because I want to do like a really yellow base creased eye pretty much. So I'm going in with the Zulu palette by Juvia's Place, and I'm picking up this like really bright yellow with that same fluffy brush. I may switch brushes here in a little bit. And I focus this on the middle first, and then I sweep it out, and then I sweep it in. That way the concentrated color is like right in the middle and the outside, and then I just kind of like add like a light wash of that color towards that inner corner. Now I'm gonna go in slightly with this brown before we add like our main showstopper. And I'm gonna go with this like really warm brown, and I'm going in with like a much smaller brush so we can focus that color instead of kind of kicking it out everywhere. Just want it on this like really outside edge. This is like a super warm brown. It's coming off kind of orangey red. Yeah, it's kind of coming off orangey. So before I go in with another color over that, because there's no more like darker shades in this palette in particular, I'm gonna go ahead and dip back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I'm gonna pick up this shade right here and this one. So these two right here. And I'm focusing that with the same kind of brush, just on that outer edge. I don't wanna make it too dark, but I do want to add some depth without making it look quite so warm. I don't mind the warmth, but I would kind of like it to be a tiny bit more muted. And then I just buff it out with a fluffier brush, which is good on this dual-ended Anastasia brush. I love these brushes. I'm gonna go back into that Zulu palette and add some more of the yellow, and I'm picking this up on that fluffier brush. I'm just gonna run this over top and kind of marry everything together. Alrighty, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do like a half cut crease. I found a concealer. This will have to do. And I do a trick that Nicole Guerrero taught me, which is another makeup beauty person on here. And she takes the concealer, and because she has hooded eyes, she'll like place the concealer and she'll look up, and like wherever it's hit is where your crease needs to end, even if that's not actually your crease. Because what happens with our hooded eyes is that even when I open my eyes after all that hard work of like putting all that eyeshadow on, it's not gonna look like anything because it's just so hooded. And like as soon as I open my eyes fully, you're not gonna be able to see anything of what I just did. So because we're doing a half cut crease, I'm just going to carve this out with the concealer. Go all the way to that brown. As you can see, I've kind of carved that out. Now I'm gonna pick up Come Clean by ColourPop, which is like this really intense, like really deep yellow gold. And I'm gonna pick this up on my finger first, because these shadows I feel like work best with a finger. I'm gonna pack it over that area that we just put the concealer. Okay, so I'm actually going to go back in with those brown shades from the Jaclyn Hill palette just to add a little bit more on this outside. So I'm going to pick those up. then going back in with that Zulu shade, even though it's not actually a Zulu shade, like it's from the Zulu palette, but they don't have names. So going back in with this one, I'm just going to buff lightly. Alright, so I went ahead and prepped my face with the Too Faced Hangover Primer. My favorite primer, hands down, ever. It's so good. And I'm gonna go in with, I'm gonna give this another shot to see if, maybe it was just kind of like the way my skin was at the time. Once upon a time, there's a girl that color matched me from like across Sephora. Like, I don't know how she did it. She was like across the way from Sephora, and she color matched me to perfection. Like, she maybe saw me like this up close when she was checking me out, and she'd already picked out my shade. Like, it was scary. Anyway, so I tried this before, the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Foundation. I found it again, and I was like, maybe I'll give it another shot, because the last time that I used this, it did some really weird, funky things around my nose. And I have not even had drugstore foundations do that to me. So that was a little bit suspect for me. And I'm gonna take my sponge and just kind of buff this in. Lately, what I've been doing, just so I don't add too much. I mean, look at that. That's like exactly my shade. Oh, no. Okay. That's exactly my shade. And this girl did it from like across the freaking store. Anyway, you got skills, ma'am. Alright, before we continue on the rest of the face, I'm going to be going in with my number 7 translucent powder. And I'm going to set all the areas. Y'all know how I like to do. I will set the T-zone, which is like this middle area, with a sponge. And then I'll take a brush over all the rest of it. And I totally just put this all up underneath my eye, and I didn't add concealer again. So I kind of hate myself. A trick, I'm just gonna do it anyway because I don't care. But a thing to do when you're doing your makeup, do not layer creams on top of powders. It adds like a really cakey effect. It's just that I have such bad under eye circles, and for some reason this foundation is still showing my freaking redness. So I need that concealer right now. I feel like I would really enjoy the the Tarte Shape Tape. Oh, by the way, this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I feel like I'd really enjoy that concealer because it's supposed to be like really full coverage. And the two things that I majorly correct on my face are my dark under eye circles and the redness in my cheeks, which is literally all in this area. So I really do need like a really good concealer, and I found really good ones with Maybelline, but I really kind of want to try some others as soon as these start kind of running out again. It's just usually those are the things that kind of get kicked to the curb, because I'll go out and I'll buy like 15 eyeshadow palettes and then take up like all the money that I can spend on makeup, and I'll spend them all on eyeshadow palettes that I don't need. But then I completely forget about like all the rest of the skin things. So for brows, I'm gonna do these off camera. I'm gonna use my favorite Brow Gal convertible brow, and I got that whatever it's called, like the brow gel or whatever. I actually really like this. It's called the Instant Light Hair. It's got microfiber in it, so it makes your brows appear like thicker and stuff, and you know I'm all about those big dark brows. So I probably would need like a darker shade, honestly, but it's summer. Well, it's not really summer, but it will soon be summer. I don't know why I started talking about brows, because I'm definitely going to be going in with bronzer right now. This is the Cargo Cosmetics bronzer in, oh gosh. It just says Swimmables, water resistant. So I guess they only have one? I don't know. for blush, I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. blush palette. This is their light palette, and I like going in with this little shade when I just want to be like semi-neutral. The other shades pack a lot of punch. So does this one, but it's a little bit more neutral and a little bit bronzy as well. Yeah, see, I'm already hating, now that I look at this foundation in my little mirror, I hate the way this looks on my skin. It looks like pixelated. And that's a little bit too much blush. I told you, this stuff is like crazy intense. This blush palette though is so good. I'm just gonna take my bronzer brush and just kind of like run it back over those two to kind of like marry the two, so it looks like I intentionally put that much blush on. Highlight, I'm going in with one of my favorites. This is Becca's Pearl. Sorry, I have stinky trial versions, but when you can buy this instead of like the giant pan of it, and it actually fits in your beauty drawer, why would you not get it? Like, it's so good. Anyway. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't get over my brows. I like my brows, but I feel like this one is so much bigger on this side. And you know how they always say like, oh, your brows should be sisters and not twins? Well, I don't even think my brows are related at this point. Like, I think they're related by like marriage. Like, they're not even cousins. Like, what the heck? I feel like this one's always so feathery and so arched, and then this one is just always so thick and just like, nah, girl. Like, why? Anyway, I'm having a moment over here. I'm gonna pick up one of these little brushes. I'm gonna run this shade, this yellow shade, all up underneath my lash line, because we're just gonna focus on this lower part of the lash. I actually love this with just the yellow underneath the eyes. I think it looks kind of Egyptian, like I really like it. Girl, I always like the yellow warm tones. I'm actually gonna pick up this Amrezy highlighter from Anastasia, and I'm gonna pack this in the inner tear duct because I really like that like intense gold reflect that Pearl from Becca just isn't. Like, it's really pretty and it's like a white gold, but I want this to be like gold gold. And this is like such a pretty highlight. I love this. This is like one of the best purchases that I've made this year. And we just add a little bit more to the nose, because you can never have too much nose highlight. So for mascara, I've been using this IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, and I'll put this on and I'll be right back. Okay, now for lips, I had something else in mind, but because this look is so yellow, I really don't want to go in with like the pinkier tones like I was doing. So I'm taking this Jante Bleu lip liner pencil in Spice. It's like this really pretty, like kind of terracotta-y kind of look. It's like a little bit of purple in there as well. Alrighty, now that I have like my line, I'm going in with Tarte's Lip Paint in Bestie. It's like this really, really pretty like warm nude. right smack in the middle, just to warm it up just a tiny bit more, I'm adding the Maybelline Clay Crush. It's 656. Like right there in that middle, just to kind of warm it up a little bit. And just because I'm like super extra right now, because I'm really enjoying like layering all of these. Taking the Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick in Holy Chic. I didn't get that joke until I bought it, and I was like, oh, that's what that means. Because I usually read chic as chick. So I was like, oh, that's funny. That's just weird. Alright, now I'm going to put this on the center. So this is the finished makeup look. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And I will see y'all next time. If y'all have a request for me for like a look or like certain palette that you want something out of, y'all let me know. I think soon I might do like my everyday kind of like makeup routine. I'm just kind of like running out the door and I want something quick. I may have already done this, honestly, but I think they're just so easy and they're good videos to do. Not everyone wants to spend 45 minutes on their makeup. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.